Okay, why don't you pause the video? You may pause the video and try all these 16 problems. This is factoring. Try to factor all these. Okay, let's start. Number one, in factoring problems, you have to look for common factors so that you could factor things out. Okay, let's see, 7x and 49, we could factor 7 out. So if you factor 7 out, it becomes 7 times x plus 7, right? 7 times 7 is 49. So that's how you factor it. Let's go in the order here, moving things around. So in 8 and 6, there's common factor of 2. So you could factor 2 out. 2 times what gives you 8m? It's 4m. Minus 2 times what gives you 6? 3. So that's how you factor it. It's 2 times 4m minus 3 will get you that. Okay, so they're equal to each other. It's like distribution backwards. Okay, let's do number 3 here. All right. So again, number 3, common factor is 5. So you could factor 5 out. So it becomes 5 times a square. 5 times what gives you negative 15? Negative 3. So when you when you distribute this, you're gonna get that back. That's what it is. Okay, so factoring is like distribution backwards here. Let's go to number 4. Okay, if I'm going too fast, guys, pause the video and think about this. Okay, so here you have a common factor of 5 because 5 can go into 10 as well as 25, and also q because there's q here and then q squared there. So I could factor 5q out, leaving 5q times what gives you 10q? Just 2. Minus 5q times what gives you 25q squared? It's going to be 5q. Okay, so in order to check, think about multiplying. 5q times 2 is 10q. 5q times negative 5q will get you negative 25q squared. Okay, which means it's pretty convenient, right? You could check your answers right away, which means you got this one right. Moving on, be careful with the plus and minuses, especially minuses. Sorry, it's kind of blurry, but here we go. So we have, does 8 go into 56? Yes, 7 times, and they have a in common. So I'm going to factor out 8a multiplied by parentheses, and then 8a times what gives you x? Just x, minus 8a times 7, right? So it's just 7 here. Imagine, multiply it, you get 8ax. Multiply it, you're going to get negative 56a. So you could always check your answers like that. So that's how you factor it out. Let's move on to number 6. So we got 81 and 48. And R can be factored out, yeah. But what goes into 81 and 48? Let me think. Okay, how about 3? So I'm going to factor 3 out. Okay, it's okay to not come up with the correct number to factor out as long as it works. And then if it gets smaller and if you see something, some other factor still needs to be factored out, you could factor out then. Okay, I'm going to factor out 3R for now. Let's see. So 3 times what is 81? 27. And then plus 3 times what is 48? 3 goes into 4 ones. Then 16. And then there's, I'm sorry, let me change the color here. So there's T left here. Okay. Now you got to think more. Can any number, do they share any common factor for 27 and 16? Let me see. No, that's it. Okay, so check. 3R times 27 will get you 81R. And also 3R times 16T will get you positive 48RT. So that should be the answer here. Let's move on. Okay, number 7 here. We have t's in common and no number in common. So this is fairly simple. You could just factor out t here. So t times what gives you t squared h? Just th plus t times what gives you 3t? Just 3. That's it. Now, number 7 was simple. Let's move on to number 8. So we have a in common only, so that's equal to a factored out, multiplied by a b squared, and then plus 1. That was also simple. Let's move on to number 9. Okay, now we got trinomial. We got 3 terms here. Okay, but they all share x's, so I could only factor out x here. So x times 1 will get you x, plus now x times xy will get you x squared y. So that's been taken care of. X times what? X squared y squared will get you x cubed y squared, right? So that's it for number 9. Let me make it a little bit darker here, or brighter red. Number 10. Let's see. Okay, they all have to be in common, so p can be factored out. So if I factor p out, let me write it underneath here. Oh, hold on. So I'm going to write p. I'm going to take out p here. So that's 3pr squared plus 6r only, and then plus 1. Okay? And nothing else can be factored out. So that was number 10. Moving on. Okay, 11. We're almost there. So 4, 16, and 12. When you think about it, 4 can be factored out. All 3, right? And then they all have a's in it. So I'm going to factor 1a out. So 4a times, now it's going to be a, what's left? ab squared. So when you distribute here, you're going to get 4a squared b squared plus 4a times what? Will give you 16 plus 16ab. It's just going to be 4 and then b. So when you multiply like that, you're going to get 16ab. So that's being taken care of. And then it's plus 4a times what gives you 12a? Well, 3. Okay? So that's all been taken care of. Let's move on to number 12 now. Number 12, since they're all even, I could factor 2 out. And then how many h's can be factored out? Only 1, because this guy and this guy has only 1 h's, even though this has 3 h's. So I'm going to factor h out. And then how many n's? Oh, this is 1 n only, so I could factor n out. Now leaving us with 2hn times what gives you that? It's going to be 5, and then h squared times n squared minus 2hn times what gives you that? Just 1, you don't have to write 1, and then it's just going to be n plus 2hn times what gives you 14, 7, right? So you could always multiply and check your answers like that. Alrighty, let me box the answer because I've been doing so. Alright, let's move on to the next one, number 13. We're almost there. Okay, so when you have 4 terms here, think about there's something called factor by grouping. You might want to group the first 2. Sometimes they could trick you by switching order, and then second 2 like that. Okay, so first 2, I'm just going to factor x out. That's going to be x plus 3. And then plus, we have a, okay, it's hard to see, so I'm going to write 1 times x plus 3. Okay, because you'll see that this one that I'm underlining blue, that's common factor again, so I could factor that out again. So it's going to be x plus 3 got factored out, multiplied by, just write down the whatever's remaining, which is xn plus 1. That's what I'm going to write here, times x plus 1. Okay, so that's how you do it. Imagine you gotta, this looks a little bit tricky, but you gotta, if you think about this as one thing, when you distribute, it's x plus 3 times x. That's what this is, x plus 3 times x. And then when you multiply by like that, it's 1 times x plus 3. That's what this guy is. Got it? When you think about the whole thing as one thing. This is kind of tricky. It's called factoring by grouping. Okay, I think 13, 14, 15, 16, they're all going to be like this. Let's move on. With practice, you're going to master this. No problem. Here we go. This one, look at these 2 as one group and these 2 group as one group. Okay, so we could factor b out here for the first group, leaving us with b minus 2. And then I'm going to factor plus 3 out, okay, positive 3 out, so that I could make b minus 2 inside. Remember, you could always check like that. That will get you 3b minus 6. Now, why did I do that? So that I have these blue thing again. They're same, so they could be factored out like that, okay, which I'm going to write it here. So that blue thing is b minus 2, and then you just write the pink thing, which is b plus 3. Again, let me show you again. So if you think about this blue thing as one block, so that times b is what this is, b minus 2 times b, right? And then that times that will get you 3 times that blue thing again. Okay, so this is how you factor completely. Okay, so that's the answer for number 14. Number 15. Again, same thing. It's factor by grouping. So I'm going to factor out, let me see, for these two, I'm going to factor 2j out. So it becomes just j plus 1, right? Again, always check, cross multiply, and then, distribute and then check. You're going to get that back. And then for the other two, these two, I'm going to factor out plus 3, 3 out. So it's going to be j plus 1 again. See, you get 3j back, multiply, you get plus 3. Okay, again, you see the pattern here. So I'm going to do the blue thing again, all right? So I could factor those out. So it makes blue thing times whatever the red thing that's left. 2j plus 3 that's left, like that. Okay, again, that blue thing times 2j is what this is. The blue thing times 3 is what this is. Okay, so that's how you factor out completely. You get the idea? Last one, try number 16. Again, factor by grouping, group that. So let's factor 2a out. So 2a times what gives you 2a squared? It's just going to be a, minus 2a times what gives you 4a? It's just going to be 2. Okay. Here, I'm just going to, if you could write it, just write it like that, but then this is easier to see. If I go 1 times a minus 2. Okay. Ready for that blue thing again? It's already blue. How about red thing now? This red block can be factored out again. So making it a minus 2 times the blue thing now, 2a plus 1. You get the idea, same thing. It's that, the first one. When you do that, it's the second one. To get it? Alrighty. So that's how you factor all these 16 problems. Good job, guys.